This is Walt Disney's story of the Little Man of Disneyland. Each time you hear, turn the page. Patrick Begorra woke up one bright morning feeling very fine. He fixed himself a bit of a breakfast and set out for his morning stroll. Did you turn the page? When he came to the doorway of his snug small house, at the roots of an old orange tree, Patrick stretched his arms and swelled his chest for a breath of fresh morning air. Then he lit his pipe. But the pipe almost fell out of his mouth, and his arms froze straight out in the air, so shocked he was at the sight he saw. There were people in his orange grove, big people striding around as if they owned the place. Well, Patrick Begorra was not the last of the little people left in the whole of Movie Land for nothing. He had courage, did Patrick Begorra, so he stepped right up to those big people to find out what this was about. At first they wouldn't even look at him, but Patrick took care of that. He stamped down hard, right on the foot of one. "Ow!" cried Donald Duck, for it was he. "I've been stung! Must be bees around here." He looked down then. "What's this?" he cried. "Who in the world are you?"
"Who are you yourself, is the proper question,"
said Patrick Begorra right back.
"This is my home, after all, has been these many years. And what, may I ask, are you doing here, acting as if you own the place, without so much as a buyer leave from Patrick Begorra, which is me?"
"Who are we?" cried Donald Duck. "Don't you go to the movies? Don't you watch TV? Don't you read books or newspapers? Don't you know Goofy and Pluto? Don't you know Donald Duck?"
"No,"
said Patrick, and he blew a smoke ring right in Donald's face. "My name is Mickey Mouse, sir," said one of the other big people, stooping down to hold out his hand. "So this is your home here, Mr. Begorra?"
"That it is," said Patrick Begorra, "and I'd like a little peace and quiet. I'll thank you all to leave at once."
"Well," said Mickey, "I'm afraid we can't do that. You see, we're going to start building here soon. Going to move all these old trees."
"Move these trees? Start building here?"
cried Patrick Begorra, jumping up and down in a purple rage.
"Oh, no, you don't. Not while I'm around."
"And what can you do to stop us, little fellow?" asked Donald Duck with a chuckle, leaning on his shovel in a cocky way.
"I'll show you,"
said Patrick, with a snap of his fingers. And down in a heap went Donald Duck, for his shovel handle had splintered just like that. "What happened?" cried Donald, picking himself up.
"Let that be a lesson to you,"
said Patrick Begorra. "Oh, don't mind him," said Goofy. "Let's start digging these trees."
"And what was it you had planned to build here? Some sort of a school, perhaps?" asked Patrick.
"No, a wonderful place called Disneyland," said Mickey. "With all sorts of marvelous things for fun. A rocket trip to the moon for one, and a wonderful Wild West stagecoach ride, a magic pirate ship that can really fly, and a trip to the mine of the 7 dwarfs.
"Rocket trip, flying pirate ship? You must be out of your head, my boy,"
said Patrick Begorra.
"There's no such things."
"Come along and see. We'll show you the plans. They're back at the studio," said Mickey Mouse. Patrick found himself walking along with Mickey and the rest, but he stopped short when they opened a door into a strange-looking bubble of glass. "It's a helicopter, a kind of airplane. Come along for the ride," said Mickey. Soon down they swooped at the studio, and Patrick found himself deep in Disneyland plans, the like of which he never had seen. There were rows of pretty little shops, winding rivers, an overhead railroad train, so many wonderful things to see that Patrick's head was a spin.
"And this is what you're planning to build when you root up my orange trees?" he asked.
"Yes," said Mickey, "that's our plan."
"Then go ahead, lads, if you can,"
said Patrick Begorra.
"The place is yours. There's just one little thing I ask. May I build me a wee snug little house and live on there quietly after you've finished this Disneyland?"
"Fine," said Mickey. "We'll build you the house. How about one of these?"
"No, lad, no," said Patrick Begorra. "I like a place out of sight, hidden away, so to speak."
"All right," said Mickey. "Just as you say." So they shook hands on it. The bargain was made. They all flew back to the Disneyland site. And next morning, the work began. With every day that passed, it seemed, the picture changed. One day, the railway station went up, the entrance to Disneyland. Then, almost in the blink of an eye, Main Street was taking shape. Soon it was time for the last tree to come out, the one with Patrick's home at its roots. "Sorry, Pat," said Mickey. "It's got to go, but we'll find you a good new place."
"Don't bother," said Patrick. "I've picked one myself."
But he would not say where his new house was. He trundled out his household goods in his wee wheelbarrow, and all day he sat in the barrow's shade, smoking his small clay pipe. And at night, when everyone had gone home, Patrick wheeled his wee barrow through the shadows of Disneyland to the spot he'd picked for his home. Come morning, he was back on the job, keeping an eye on things. "Good morning, Patrick," said Donald Duck. "Did you sleep well in your new house?"
"Very well, thank you,"
said Patrick Begorra with a twinkle in his eye. But do you know, not a soul has discovered just where Patrick's new house is? So when you visit Disneyland, you keep your eyes open wide. Maybe you'll see a wee man in green smoking a small clay pipe. Maybe you'll follow when he goes home and find out where he lives. If you do, you'll be the only one in the world who's found Patrick Begorra's home.